All right, NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell is here with us. Sue, here we go. It is crunch time. You got less than 20 days until the election, 18 days to be exact. Have we started to hear the closing arguments from both of the campaigns? And if so, what do you think they are right now?
Well, you know, Colton, at this point, the campaigns, if they're doing their jobs, they have all the publicly available data about which voters in the swing states have already voted by mail or in person and will continue to vote. And then they can cross those voters off their list, which means if they are organized, they're focusing in on a firm number of votes they need to win. This isn't a poll number. This is the actual number of people who voted. So to your question, obviously we don't know how they voted, but if they were Democrats or Republicans, you can figure that out a little bit. So to your question, this election is so close that if the candidates are disciplined, they will be tailoring messages in each state to the voters who haven't voted yet or are unreliable voters. Now, Vice President Harris, she's been getting stronger every day on the campaign trail, delivering a disciplined message, while former President Trump has been devolving. So we'll see if she can stick with it and if he can get back on track.
All right, I wanted to get your take on this. This was a big story today if you tuned in on Fox News. Last night was the Al Smith dinner down in New York City. It's a traditional political event. It's big with Catholics. VP Harris opted not to attend. Watching Fox News today, they were conservatives, right? Sort of making it out that this is a big deal. Is it that big of a deal? Or was this sort of a misstep for her not to go? Why, and also, why didn't she?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of rumors about why Harris chose not to attend. I haven't got any real information, though. But, I do think it was a mistake not to be there. It's a huge event in New York, and almost every candidate for president has attended in the past. It brings adversaries and friends together to raise money for some Catholic charities. Tim Dolan, who is the Archbishop of New York, he said in his podcast that he was disappointed that Harris wasn't there. And he said because, quote, she articulates rather eloquently that we've got to turn the page on bitterness. So we talk about it. This will be gone tomorrow. I don't think it's going to cost her any votes.
All right, let's turn back local right now. Last night in a debate out in Western Mass, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's running for re-election against Republican John Deaton, she said that she has no interest in a post-hypothetical Kamala Harris administration. Do you actually buy that?
Yeah, not really, Colton. Look, at every incumbent running for re-election in a presidential year says that, right? Every senator always says if they're running that they don't plan to run for president. But we know every senator wakes up in the morning and looks in the mirror and sees a future president. Well, look, in fact, Warren said when she was running for Senate last time, she wasn't going to run for president, and she did run for president. But look, in the end, it's a job interview. And you don't say, hire me, while you're going to express a desire for a different job. So it's just politics as usual.
All right, Sue, as always, thank you. And of course, don't forget, everyone, we recap all the week's biggest political headlines every Sunday on At Issue. You can join Sue, Corey Smith, and Matt Pritchard. It airs at 11:30. That is immediately following Meet the Press.